Queen's Park's out for the final time of the year today, and now they'll take an extended break, returning on March 23rd. Lawmakers have been set to return February 17th. This 14-week winter break comes after MPPs sat in the legislature for just 51 days this year. And today, question period got heated as the opposition once again grilled Labor Minister David Piccini on the controversial Skills Development Fund, calling for his resignation.
Does the Premier expect us to ignore that the minister hand-picked Conservative insiders to receive government funds?
Minister of Labour.
Speaker, that's simply incorrect, Speaker. Every dollar goes to training. It's in the guidelines of the publicly accessible fund, Speaker, and it's changing lives. It's helping people train. We've made steps over each round, as I said, to improve the program, and it's supporting people in training in the hospitality sector, Speaker, that was ravaged during the pandemic, Speaker, or supporting in the skilled trades. You know, we've seen an increase in youth registering in apprenticeships, factually an increase. We've seen an increase in the number of women registering in apprenticeships.
And to take a look back at this latest legislative session at Queen's Park, political analyst Keith Leslie joins us. Keith, what do you think the most notable story from this session has been?
Well, of course, it was the Skills Development Fund. And we saw that today when the legislature announced, when the government announced it was going to take a 14-week Christmas break after a 19-week summer break, both of which were basically designed to avoid getting questioned every day about the way money was doled out by this $2.5 billion Skills Development Fund. This all came after the Auditor General found that the way the money was handed out by the government to basically people who donated and to people who endorsed the government, party insiders and friends, I mean, the Auditor General said it was not fair, transparent, or accountable. So they've been getting questions every day on that during the session, and that's why they're taking an extra long break, pushing it past St. Patrick's Day for a Christmas break to avoid getting questions every day and taking away the media attention from the opposition leaders who keep hammering them on this.
So far, the Premier has stood by his minister. Do you expect Labour Minister David Piccini to return to his role in March, or will there be some switch-ups during this break?
Well, if the government wanted to, sort of get around from this, they would do a cabinet shuffle and move Piccini out, maybe move Paul Calandra in. He's really good at quashing some controversial issues. But right now, I think Premier Ford's going to stand by his Labour minister. Piccini seems to do a pretty good job of standing up in the legislature and defending the fund. But it's not the fund itself that's at question. The Skills Development Fund seems to be a good idea by all sides agreeing, but it's the way the money was doled out that wasn't fair or transparent. And the opposition parties are rightly saying it looks like a government slush fund, that they're rewarding their own friends and donors, and there were some very close ties to the minister, the Labour minister, and to the Premier's office of people who got large grants from this Skills Development Fund. I think he's going to stand by Piccini, at least for now, because moving the minister isn't going to get away from the whole scandal around this fund.
And Keith, it was a short legislative session, but a number of changes were made, including controversial Bill 5, a ban on speed cameras, the removal of American alcohol from shelves. What sticks out as most significant to you?
Well, I think Premier Ford just inserting himself into all of these issues, basically, going on his gut instincts and speed cameras, despite the fact police and teachers and everyone else says the evidence shows they actually do save lives and reduce accidents near school zones. Same with the bike lanes. He's going on himself and, pouring the liquor out to show that we're not going to put the American booze back on the shelves, even with the Liberals pushing to have the money donated to food banks over Christmas. He says, no, every bottle of California wine sold in Ontario is a bottle of Ontario wine that's not sold here. So the government's going to stick to its guns, but foremost, they're not going to be in the legislature. It's going to be Doug Ford front and center pushing his own issues.
Keith, I know March is a ways away at this point, but if you had a magic crystal ball, what can we see coming for this next legislative session?
I think we're going to go right back to the Skills Development Fund. This is going to be a drip. Because the legislature's not sitting, the reporters are going to dig in further and further on this. And every day there's been new revelations about who this money went to and why they went to companies that were under investigation by the Securities Commission, by others. I think it's going to go right back to the Skills Development Fund unless there's some action by the government to somehow quash the controversy around this.